Welcome back, everyone, to our prayer journey with Mike Toth as we continue stepping through the book of Mark, one verse at a time. Today we're going to cover chapter 6, verses 1 through 13. About 30 years, maybe 25 years ago, I had gotten a call from my brother Jay, and he said to me, "Mike, something strange happened. Daddy is walking around my porch, and he's in a daze." And right away I thought, oh my goodness, maybe he had a stroke. And Jay said to me, he went on, "But he's saying, Mike, that he got saved." And I'm like, "You're kidding me." "No." So he says, "But how did it happen?" And he said, when I first got saved, I went to a lot of different churches. And I just kept going and filling out visitor cards. And it appears that these men came to the door when I wasn't here. Daddy had let himself in. He was sitting down at the table waiting for me to come, and two men in suits came to the door. Right away, when he saw the suits, he thought, oh my goodness, they're federal agents or something. What did JG do? And so he went to the door. And the two men in the suit says, "Are you James Toth?" And my father and my brother Jay have the same name. The nickname was Jay. So he said, "Yes, I am James Toth." And then he was waiting for them to say, "Well, we're going to arrest you," or something along that lines. And the man said to him, "Well, you came to our church and we just following up. We're behind and we're following up on visitation today." And my father said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah, can we come in and sit and talk with you?" And he sat down with them, and they asked him a question. If you were to die today, why would God take you into heaven? And I guess just JJ explained it, as they proceeded to talk through the gospel, my father accepted the Lord. Later, I know he said to me, I felt so guilty when they asked me that question. And talking to JJ and in the subsequent time, he told me, Dad said he accepted the Lord because he had changed so much, JJ. And JJ had once told me that he accepted the Lord because I changed so much. So people are looking at you, number one. But the reason I bring this up is Jesus faced a problem. He says in this particular verses we're going to read that a prophet or somebody who sends forth the gospel is not without honor in the world, but in his particular place among his people, he's not with any honor. Because it's common that people look at another person and are either jealous or have seen flaws in their past. So how do you handle a problem like that? And Jesus is going to identify it here. So let me start by reading the first few verses here. Chapter 6, verse 1. And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and the disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, "From whence had this man these things?" You got to realize he went out and he started a big ministry in Capernaum. He got apostles. He's sending them out into the field. And now he comes back to his town, and they're saying, what happened to him? If you remember, in the previous video, they had come to take Jesus away in Capernaum, saying he was mad because of the cancel culture. Probably the Pharisees came to them and said, "You better get your son and your brother out of there because he's going to get himself in trouble." So this is where now Jesus comes back to his town and he has more problems. So from whence this man these things? And that wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are worked by his hands. So you see, he's doing some mighty works here. But there is a mighty work he can't do. And I will explain that as we go further in. In verse 3, is this not the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joses and Judah and Simon? And are not these his sisters with us? And they were offended at him. So they didn't even want Jesus around. Just right here again, we'll read that. And they were offended at him. His sisters with us and his brothers were offended at Jesus. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, or I'm going to put except in here to understand it better, except in his own country and his own kin and his own house. Because they're familiar with them. There's jealousies. There's a lot of different things. With us, when I got saved, I was not living good before. When I got saved, it takes a long time sometimes for people to change. Sometimes some change right away. But it takes a while to change. And that change will affect people. But it takes a while. So it is very difficult to witness among your brethren, your family, and your kin because people know you or are jealous of you. Go on in verse 5. And he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them. Now wait a second. No mighty work, but he healed some sick folk. Maybe that even included somebody with a withered hand. What's the miracle he could not do? And he could do there no mighty work. What is the mighty work? It is the salvation of souls, because that which requires faith. Jesus Christ is Lord of all of the universe, and at any time he desires, he could fix and make right anything that he desires. There's nothing holding him back, except for one thing. God does not want to force you to be a robotic person. He wants to give you the choice. You can accept Jesus Christ or not. The mighty work he could not do because they did not have faith was to believe that Jesus Christ was Lord of the universe and that they were sinners. Simple as that. He goes on, and he marveled because of their unbelief, and he went around the villages teaching. So Jesus did not stop. He went around the villages teaching. We're going to see in our next video that Jesus has a plan to get past this problem that we have with witnessing to those familiar with us. He's going to send out people to witness to people that don't know them from anywhere, but can see the mighty works of God working in them. So until next time, come to the Lord Jesus Christ and ask him into your heart, and let him increase as you decrease. Until next time, God bless you.